Hello everyone, hi from Kuromi. Alright, so today, very special, you could say, yeah, special video. Because today is the intelligence video. I did directly mention this like one past video probably. I did say I want to do like a tier list. Uh, Actually, I kind of changed my mind that maybe in the future, maybe that's something like that I could in the future because like it's a bit more precise and a bit more like you know uh, talking about types of intelligence precisely. And I feel like I need to do an intelligence general video before I do that, right? So that's what I wanted to do today. And it's also special because I did say like many times oh, I'll talk this about this in another video. Oh, I will mention this in a future video. And it was very often about intelligence actually. So this is kind of like a general overview of anything about the intelligence really. What my idea is, what people the, the the egregious mistakes actually that people make when they talk about intelligence, in my opinion, and why does this matter, right? Why intelligence matters, and even when intelligence itself is. On another unrelated thing, soon may arrive like playmat, I think that's called, with Chandelure and another girl. I forgot the name. I forgot her name. She's like from the latest Switch game, the latest Pokemon Switch game. It's like she's a girl, and her favorite Pokemon is Chandelure, so I had to buy it absolutely. So, and I'm maybe using it like right here, uh, under Romy, just because it's so cute. So maybe that's uh, going to be like the scenery of future videos in maybe a while. That will take at least like 2 weeks, I think. But yeah, that will be really cool, I think. Uh, super cute. So let's just talk about intelligence, right? Um, Now the downside of the type of videos I make is that since I don't do any scripting, I have no idea. Like I have to make up the order of what of the things I want to talk about, right? And right now, I don't really know in which order I want to explain things. Unfortunately, um, this isn't a downside. Whatever. You get what I mean. So I think first I want to talk about like what is intelligence in and of itself. Because and I'm gonna be honest, I'll say this already from the start. I don't have a definitive secure, you could say, or safe definition that I'm like very confident in. Just because I don't know, I feel like maybe it's worth the time. It would be kind of hard to actually come up with it, and maybe it's worth the time, but I don't really know honestly. Uh, like to come up with a proper definition, and I feel like it's just too complex to even have a definition that isn't like 20 minutes long, right? So uh, maybe honestly, I always say um, if you disagree with me, that's totally fine. Like I'm happy if you disagree with me and tell me your points and tell me in a nice way, obviously. In this case, like more than ever, if you have another definition, like I'd be super interesting to know, to see it, to hear about it, because I'm not sure what even intelligence is in the sense that it may be even more than what I know, and yeah, I think it's it's a very interesting topic and thing in general. So yeah, what is intelligence? Basically, I feel like intelligence is kind of the your ability to know what to do in each situation. Um, in the sense that intelligence allows you to, in a certain situation, know what are your options first of all, and which ones are bad, and which ones are okay, and which one is the best. Uh, I feel like that's what um, intelligence is, and it's also very important. It's kind of universal in the sense that it applies to anything and any possible situation, any kind of situation ever. Um, and this is like very important because I don't think like in my mind, intelligence is not a machine's property. Computers don't have intelligence for me. And you might say, but if you code it right, a machine can, um, in many circumstances, know know the best solution to a problem. Like, for example, when you ask Google Maps to take you somewhere, it knows which route is faster to get to you, right? And which one is okay and which one is bad. Uh, that's the problem. If you ask Google Maps to um, tell you, for example, how much does Kuromi plushie cost? Google Maps tells you what the fuck are you talking about, right? It doesn't know that, and it doesn't even know what Kuromi is, what a plushie is, what pricing means. It doesn't know anything, and it doesn't have the tools to do that. While an intelligent being like a human has maybe doesn't know what Kuromi is, and maybe doesn't even know what euros are, but it can learn them. And learning is a very important aspect of intelligence, and computers cannot do that. They need our input to learn something, and still they cannot do anything and everything possible. You know, see, already in my mind, I know this definition is not the best that I could phrase it, just because I really am not so unsure of what. Oh, like I should talk about intelligence even. Um, so intelligence is this first of all, and like the situation where it applies to are not only okay. A killer is chasing me. Which path do I take to survive? Right. Intelligence is also about my friend is crying. What should I do? Did I do anything? Did something happen? Did the thing that he told me about last day happen? Or is he hurt? Is he hurt somewhere physically? You know, all of those things. Meaning it applies to literally everything, every situation possible. At least as for humans, for you know, human perceiving. I don't know what I'm trying to say. So yeah, it applies to anything, and so it's kind of you could say a universal property of humans in the sense that intelligence really does affect every single aspect of a person's life. Um, Maybe in many situations it doesn't affect it directly, like if someone likes chocolate ice cream and another person likes strawberry, uh, does this say that one is more intelligent than the other? No. Can you even get to something even remotely close to intelligence from this? No, not really. So those very specific things aren't really related to someone's intelligence, but I feel like, and like I guess the ice cream example is a bit uh, not great because it's like your own personal taste, right? You can the taste buds are not affected by intelligence, right? Uh, and so while it is true that it applies to everything, it only applies to problems, if you can call them like that. Problems being um, like situation where you need an answer. An answer, a situation with ice cream will be, what is that person's favorite ice cream? you, an intelligent being, have the tools to either know, figure it out, or get information to figure it out. Will you succeed? Who knows? Maybe yes, maybe not. And an infinitely intelligent being will always, obviously, and that's a very important thing that I will talk about soon. No one is infinitely intelligent. It's impossible to be infinitely intelligent. I always say you're not a deity, you're not a God or whatever. You're not omniscient because no one is infinitely intelligent. So no one can always know the best answer possible. But anyone can try, and everyone should try, which we'll get to later also. So I don't know if there's much more to say about what intelligence really is. Maybe along the way I'll give some more details about it if I remember, like minor stuff. And now is like, why does this matter? Answer like, why am I talking about this even? Why does knowing what intelligence is even matter? Um, because I feel like without intelligence, without and by the way, the meaning, the how do you say this? Uh, the vehicle of intelligence is thought. TH, thought, thinking. It sounds really bad with my pronunciation, but thinking is the vehicle of intelligence. And what I said in the past video is that many people simply refuse to think. I don't know what their problem is, honestly. No, I'm joking, but um, I just can't figure out why, honestly, why they don't think. And it's really really important because, like I said, yeah, at least to my to my intuition, thought and thinking is the vehicle of intelligence, meaning that without thinking you cannot express and utilize your own intelligence. And so it's important to know because this is basically me saying thinking is important. Thinking is super 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 important because it's the only way you can solve problems. It's the only way you can become a better person, a deeper person, get more of your own ideas, and like 10 different things more than that. Thinking is literally the way intelligence is applied. Um, so I guess knowing what intelligence is kind of means thinking that thinking is important, you would say. I guess it's not really that important to know. It's just important to apply it, which I guess is the same thing in a way. Now let's talk about the mistakes. And this I think will be the longer portion of the video. Because the word intelligence really gets thrown around a lot um, without any meaning, or a wrong meaning, or an unrelated meaning, or a cringe meaning, So, yeah, it's just, I feel like it's one of those things that people talk about the most, talking about like people's properties, people's characteristics. Um, like kindness and I don't know. They all lead to it's crazy. Okay, whatever. I'll talk about this more later. So intelligence gets mentioned so often, and yeah, it's just I very often when I say it, I'm thinking like this is not intelligence first of all, or yes, but it doesn't make sense what you're saying and all of that. So the first mistake, I'm sure, and this is a mistake that people even point out, to just to say like how big of a mistake and how popular it is. Actually, many people point it out, not just me. You get what I mean. So um, they say like to not confuse knowledge with intelligence, and that is extremely true. That is exactly, not exactly a better word. That is literally the biggest misconception about intelligence. And I feel like at this point, like, people kind of know about it already. Like, there isn't, uh, there aren't many people left that, when talking about intelligence, actually talk about knowledge in a very meaningful way. What they do still is treat people with high knowledge as very intelligent people. That's not how it works. There is correlation, but you cannot treat the people just based on that, right? Especially because the correlation is actually the backwards one. Intelligent people often have a lot of knowledge, but saying that people with a lot of knowledge are usually intelligent people just feels wrong to me. Uh, it just, there are many people without a lot of knowledge. There aren't anything special in terms of intelligence. So to me, it just doesn't feel right to say something like that. And the examples of this are like the Rubik's cube, the fucking, like, I've seen people say like, "Oh, you must be a genius because you're good at chess," or you have a degree, or you even you know a lot of digits of pi, right? Uh, if you know a lot of digits of pi, you have a good memory. If you have a degree, it means you studied. If if like if you're good at the Rubik's cube, it means you played with the Rubik's cube a lot. Same with chess. Same with any type of intelligence-based game. And there is still a correlation. Keep in mind, intelligent people often have better memory. Intelligent people have, and this is, there another, like, definition of intelligence. Intelligence. This isn't like a definition, but like, it's distinguishing what more intelligence does versus less intelligence. And one of those things is speed. Absolutely, it's how fast you learn something, how fast you get an idea, how fast you can change your mind about something, how fast you can just figure out anything in any situation. It's really maybe the biggest indicator of intelligence, I think. And so someone that's smart might have an easier time learning the Rubik's Cube and getting good at it, learning how to play chess and getting good at it. But want to know something? Even like being a better football player or tennis player, someone smart is gonna have a bit of an advantage because those sports have a tactical aspect to them, and intelligence helps. Intelligence really helps with kind of anything except like strictly physical uh, actions. You could say like an intelligent person won't be stronger physically than someone that's less intelligent. And there's research. I don't want to talk about it. Like, it's so stupid, but whatever. So it doesn't matter. Only the strictly physical things. All of the rest of that, they are influenced more or less by the intelligence. All of them, except those physical ones. So, yes, saying that someone is smart because they have a degree is very stupid. Saying that someone's smart has a degree is also stupid because, I mean, not everyone that's smart has a degree. But saying that someone's smart can easily get a degree, I feel like there's not. It's not crazy to say, it's pretty true. Yes, someone smart has an easier time getting a degree, and uh, and the other big mistake people make. First of all, the first one was the knowledge thing. The other thing is they really confuse what intelligent. What did I want to say? I literally forgot what I meant to say. Um. mm, yeah, I'll say this. So, um, this is not like a definition of a mistake. This is more of my opinion, but I think my opinion is correct. So I'll tell you anyway. So people base intelligence strictly based on like results and like you know a speed of learning things, being successful in something. That's one part of it. But and this is what I wanted to make the tier list about. Maybe I'll make it another time. As people often say, also there are so many different types of intelligence now. uh, there's the speed one that affects how fast you go. There's the creative one. There's the philosophical one. There's the um, mm, there's like the writing one. I guess there are a lot of specific types of intelligence. Like you know how they call like those artists geniuses. I don't like it personally, but you could say that person was a genius at artistic intelligence, and that's true. That may be true, yes. So there are so many different types of intelligence, and the people focus on most is speed, obviously, and like studying, read, memory stuff, and yeah, studying. I think people that have an easy time studying and that don't and then like have a lot of success in that. uh I feel like this is I don't want to call it like a massive problem, right? It's more of a consequence of a problem. So it's not really the people's fault if they consider smart people the ones that have success in something. But to me, the thing that matters about like the aspect of intelligence that matters the most, it's the emotional one. Emotional and moralistic, can you call it that? I have no idea. But basically how you act with people. And this is the 12th time I talk about this, like how you act with people, right? Just because I feel like I have such a disagreement with so many people that um, I always end up putting this in between stuff, and it is related. And uh, to me, this type of intelligence, like knowing how to act with people, when to say something, when to not say something, knowing if something is mean or not, if knowing how to be sorry, knowing how to be, uh, how to not be too proud of yourself, not to stand on your ideas too much, not to be too, yeah, too proud in general, having too much honor. That's, I think, the type of intelligence that matters the most. And it's kind of not even close because you might say, well, um, the doctors and the lawyers and all the engineers are important, and those are often are smart people, right? And so, the intelligence based on speed and on memory and on quickly learning stuff and easily learning stuff is very useful, right? It is, of course, but there is no job in the world that's gate kept by intelligence. None. You will find engineers that are absolute idiots. Just because they're engineers doesn't mean they're smart. They studied engineering. That's it. Meaning that you don't have to be smart in the sense that you have to be quick and learn stuff easily for anything. Like, it's kind of a useless ability. It's very useful to flex, obviously, and it's very useful for your interest, but it doesn't have an actual usefulness until like bad situations happen. I guess there isn't really a use for those this type of intelligence of quickly learning stuff and being super good at math or an astrophysicist or whatever. So, and even the memory one, like as long as humans are smart, like humans have a good fucking brain, you know. And I said fucking because it's really good. It's so powerful. The reason I'm talking to you right now is because I learned a language that wasn't my own at an age that wasn't me being 3 years old. I learned English mostly when I was like 14, 15. I managed to learn all of these different words. Yes, I know how to use a computer, and how to use a webcam, and how to use a microphone. I changed every single setting of the microphone. I know how physics works. I know how like uh, chemistry works. I know so many things, right? Everyone does. I can listen to music super well. I can differentiate. I have such a big memory in music. I know so many songs. I know so many artists. I know so many people, and all of that. And everyone does, right? Which means the brain is super powerful, right? So you don't need to be above average for anything, really, when it comes to speed, when it comes to ability of learning, and all of that. But guess what? When it comes to emotional aspects, how to be kind, how to be, uh, how, I want to say how to be smart with everyone, right? Knowing what to do with everyone so they don't hurt them and they don't hurt you, and you can talk freely to them because there is no shame, there is no being embarrassed for no reason, there's no overthinking, all of that. Because you two are being smart with each other emotionally, this is so much more important because we're at a point in history also where uh technology and progress is all useful and all of that, but we've come to a point where you don't need to worry about survival anymore. You don't need to worry really about that, and many have to worry about that, and it's an absolute shame, obviously. uh Maybe I'll talk about this in another video, but yeah, um you don't really have to worry about that anymore. We know how genes work, we know how DNA works, we know how chemistry works. We're getting close to like nuclear fusion and all of that. Beyond that, at least in my opinion of like the world in general, we don't need much more. Like going to space is purely optional. I love space. You're hearing it from someone who absolutely loves space and stars and all of that. Going to space is absolutely optional. It doesn't it increases human knowledge, but not in but probably not in any incredibly meaningful way. In the 1900s, knowing how the DNA worked was incredibly important. Knowing how nuclear material worked in the 1940s and 50s was super important because those things are hazards to humans. Now, what is a hazard to humans that we don't know much about yet? Is there any? There's the medical research, and I think medical research is one of those that should always go steady and go and be funded, heavily funded. It doesn't get funded enough, I think, uh, because it's one of the only problems humans really have about survival. And so I'm sure you know this. When you don't need to survive, what's next? That's where the difference between humans and animals is. Animals survive. Humans are already surviving. So what do you do? And it's even more important because we're not surviving like as dogs. Let's say that uh, we had the intelligence of dogs, and our industrial evolution was super much slower than it is, but we get to the same point as we are now. Now, as dogs, we don't need to do much. We can just play sometimes, breed and all of that. Is that called breeding? I think, hopefully. Yes. So you have to do this and I guess play sometime and eat and drink and what else, right? Because you don't have much intelligence. It feels bad to say poor dogs, but they're not very smart. They're pretty dumb. So humans are not like that. Humans get bored fast, and I can tell you this from first-hand experience. The more you get smart, even within humans, uh, the more your intelligence goes up. I guess you could say. The more stuff you need to do, the more you need to keep you occupied, and more your brain gets bored easily, and you need to do something. And so that's why I feel like investing in, I guess, investing our energy, maybe you could say, in a relationship with people, how to make relationship better, um, in entertainment, and you know mostly relationship, because we have such a deficit in that. That would be the topic of another video. What the big problem that relationships, not just a love relationship, romantical, but every one of them, the big problems that they have in this period of time. But I feel like that's what matters now. And guess what cares about that? Emotional intelligence, knowing what's good, knowing what's bad. We have we have been smart enough to completely eliminate the risk of death, right? The risk of survival. Not the risk of survival, like the need for to look for survival always, constantly. We've been so smart to do that. So why are we suddenly so idiotic and so stupid that we can't even like have a normal relationship with other people? Uh, why can we not be kind with other people? Why do we have to be so proud? Why do we like we're not animals anymore, you could say, but we act like animals. We're so proud. I like when I see something like um people being greedy with money. Like you don't need to be greedy. You're being greedy because you're being dumb. You're not thinking about it. Like when I see people being greedy about fucking €2, bro, €5, that's crazy. And I get, and but they're poor. They're not. The people that do this are often not, uh, because I've seen it. Like it happens to me, with other people, and they're not poor, obviously. So uh, why why am I smart enough to do it and you're not? Like this doesn't make any sense to me. Why do we have to act like animals if we're smarter than them? So much smarter than them. For me, it's just so useless. Like having all of this intelligence and not using it. And I did mention this like in the previous video. Like um, I said um, that people just refuse to think, uh, in a sense that yes, people just refuse to be moral. No moral. Fuck. Just refuse to be mature. Exactly. They refuse to be to have mental maturity. You could say. Why? Because they don't think. They don't think about what it's good to do. They don't think about consequences. They don't think about what them doing does and causes. And so they remain, in my opinion, very immature. Why do we have to keep being immature like that? Why can we not now suddenly focus our energies on our energy, yes, on stuff that now matters? Because what matters now is relationships with people, being kind, being nice, and all of that, being sweet, uh, being helpful, knowing when the other is feeling bad and stopping, saying sorry. Like this is the useful real stuff. And so to me now, emotional intelligence is the only real one that really matters in today's world. mm, Speed and easy learning and cool tricks you can do are fun and all of that, but uh, at this point, and this is kind of what I wanted to get to it from the start. At this point, I consider someone smart if they're smart emotionally, and it's not always like this. Like, if someone is smart and is fast and knows a lot of stuff and they learn so easily, it is not guaranteed they're good people. You could say they're nice and they're kind and all of that, and you'd be surprised at how often that happens. Like, I know someone from when I went to school, right? When I went to high school, they used to get close to the max score in every test, right? They studied a lot of, obviously. They would get 100%, 80%, 85, 90, 95, 80, 85, constantly, always. I never got those grades, by the way. I was too bored of studying. So they're like that. And you could say, wow, that must be someone smart, right? That's what people say. And he was actually smart. It wasn't like one of those people that you ask them to solve any common problem and they look at you like you're crazy and they just study so much. No, yeah, he was actually smart, right? And and then I look at the emotional intelligence, and he's not smart. It's so dumb. It's like I guess it's not below average, but like it was literally like everyone else, at least in my class or something, kind of in my school, you could say. Like, people my age, uh, yeah, at least from where I'm from, are kind of all the same, you could say. And it wasn't anything special. He made fun of stuff of people. I don't know. He was kind of greedy. He was, he was very proud of himself. Like, okay, I know you have like the mental speed, right, and the mental, because then you would ask him to solve a problem, and you will do it. He will show you like, okay, I'm pretty smart. I can solve this problem in a little time, giving you an good answer, right? So it was above average, definitely in that. But then you look at fucking emotional intelligence, and it's so average. It's so bad. And to me, like, the average of today is awful, honestly. So I guess you could say it was bad. Um, and so, and I get that everyone is different. There's gonna be the person that makes a lot of jokes about people, and the other that's very shy, and then you have the other that's a bit say that carries you a lot through stuff, that it's very convincing and very loud and all of that. But the basic stuff should always be there with everyone, literally. Like, if the guy that always makes jokes and makes everyone laugh says a mean joke and sees you uncomfortable and you don't laugh, it's not like a crazy thing to say that he should feel bad for it. I don't think it's crazy. Just because he makes jokes about people doesn't mean he has to be not kind and not nice to people. And it's not like a 20,000 IQ thing to say. It's very basic to me, actually. So it's so just, if even yes, people are different, but they shouldn't be different in the basic fucking things. Talk about cheating with people in relationship. Like, there is no type of person that should ever be allowed to do that. Like, you can be literally the best looking man in the world. The best, and it's not even close. It doesn't mean you're allowed to cheat, even if even if your girlfriend is like a 7.5 out of 10. If you don't like her anymore, first of all, you should have thought that before getting with her. But that's too that's too nice, that's too sweet, or that's too intelligent, that's too smart. Gosh, what am I saying? I'm expecting people to do that? No, that's crazy. So you want to leave her? Leave. Then you go to with another girl. You don't cheat. That's insanity to me. And you will see smart people cheat. You will see people that actually have brain capabilities above average cheat with people and talk bad of their partner. Like, to me, that's so crazy. That's so crazy. And uh, and it shows how, like, it feels like emotional intelligence, and that either everyone is an idiot, right? And they just have like a nice memory, I guess, and they can study, and they still study a lot, I guess. I don't know. Either everyone is an idiot, or it really shows how um, emotional intelligence and the rest of the stuff about intelligence really doesn't. They're completely separated. They're one. They're distinct, very distinct. And you can absolutely not assume someone is smart emotionally if he's smart speed wise and memory wise and all of that. Useful wise, even though I said it's pretty useless, people call it useful, so I guess I've called it like that. So um, this is like, I guess I thought about this not even that long ago. I kind of always knew this already, but like I finalized it maybe a month ago or something. How emotional intelligence is the one that really matters, and it's the only one, honestly, I care about, because if you can memorize an entire book in 1 day and a half, that's nice. That's nice of you. You're good. You're great, and all that. But if you can't, and you take 30 minutes to read one page of a book, and then you're super sweet with me, super nice. You always help me. You're always for me. You're nice to hang out with. You're fun. You're funny. Uh, you're kind and all of that. You're smarter than that person. It doesn't matter that you cannot do like stuff like that. It doesn't matter that you cannot, that you have trouble reading or memorizing, or you're pretty slow at learning. It doesn't matter. It matters that you're a nice person, aka your emotional intelligence is very high. That's what matters. Yes, so it doesn't really matter if anymore if someone like, you can do all of that and then you're an idiot. Like, I've come to the conclusion that uh I can, that's kind of what I want to look for in people also. And it it's so unpredictable whether anyone that's good and fast and memory stuff is also nice and sweet and all of that, that you can't even like get any info almost. Like, it feels like that uh, characteristic is so it's really uncommon, first of all, and then it's so unrelated to the rest of intelligence. Because um, I know I instead a lot of people. uh, I don't know them really well, I guess. I know them online and stuff, uh, but they're really nice. They're really nice people. They're really fun to hang out with. They're helpful and all of that. So and then I actually like maybe try to have a smart conversation, you can say, and you can see like they're nothing special in intelligence, speed, memory, all that, right? In in useful intelligence. And so uh, it feels like it almost for a moment made me feel like it doesn't even like it doesn't even correlate with intelligence at all. And I feel like a lot of you maybe would have screamed at me by now by saying, no, it's not a part of intelligence. No, those are simply how nice someone is. Those are simply morals. Those are simply how kind and all of that someone is. So uh and yes, but then I see like when you get past a certain point, um, I feel like you're too smart to act bad, to not be kind, you know? Because at some point you get to a level of intelligence where, and I'm not saying this like um, you get to 192 IQ and you're insanely. I will talk about IQ soon. I think I have a slightly controversial take about it, but whatever. And so when it's not like you get there and suddenly like you're too smart and you're too much of a genius. Like you like the level is decently low. The level of your intelligence doesn't have to be that high to fall in this category. And I always say I'm not a genius, and I feel like I'm in this category. So um, you get to a point where you question literally everything, and so basically you realize on the spot if you're being good or not, if you're doing the good thing or the bad thing, if you're being smart emotionally or not, and so you realize it, and either you're evil, like you're straight up evil, and you know it, um and you like realize and say, no, I don't care, I'm gonna act like I want anyway. And there was a period of time where mostly in the past where I thought people were just evil like that, because I think like, how can you like realize what you're doing and not be kind and not be nice and not be a nice person? And then I realized people don't actually question what they do. If they did, they'd probably be a lot better person, a lot better people as I don't know how to say it, whatever. So they'd be a lot nicer and all of that. Um, because if you question it, sorry, if you question it, either I said you're evil and you continue to do whatever you want, or you say, okay, I'll this isn't nice. I will change how I act with that person. And in general, you already kind of start being nicer in general. Not start as nicer, and then you realize your mistake and get even nicer. You could say, even get even better as a person. Um, because you just realize it. You just it's impossible for you to not think about what you're doing, and people should really do this. Should really think about what they're doing, but they don't, and that's whatever. You think about it and just need to know, and you're smart enough to know like what's good and what's bad. I highly doubt there are many people who cannot do that. Like if they actually thought about it, they will very easily realize what's good and what's bad in 99% of the situations, easily, very, very, very easily. So of course, a smart person will obviously have the capabilities of capabilities of knowing that. So they will know what's good and what's bad and all that. Uh, so what I meant to say is it still is a little bit connected to intelligence, how you act. And it's what makes me still think this is a part of intelligence, because in the end it still gets affected. And you might tell me, I came up with this thing right now, literally. You might tell me, well, you being smart only means you think a lot about what you do, but doesn't it actually mean you like are better emotionally, like I have higher emotional intelligence. So emotional intelligence doesn't really exist. You're just smart enough to realize when you're wrong, right? and to change uh, your ideas and all of that. And honestly, I'll take it. Like, I can't disagree enough to tell you you're wrong and give you an explanation. Just I think that um, it being a characteristic of like our brain, you could say, of our personality or something like that, it of or how our brain works in situations, in any situation, I still feel like it should be included as a type of intelligence after all. But honestly, if you say that it's not really a type of intelligence because of the reason I just explained, then I'm not gonna be extremely against you, because in the end it's kind of dubious if being morally correct is connected to intelligence, or being intelligent. You don't being intelligent sound awful. Being smart actually being smart leads to you being morally correct. So in the first example, morally correct and being nice is part of intelligence. In the second, it's not. So it's not super clear. I am more leaning towards the first option. But honestly, if you think the second one is right, I have no really a counter argument yet. Maybe I'll come up with it in the future. Um, and maybe what I want to say. I honestly want to keep complaining about how dumb people are, and how selfish and all of that are, but I think they will be pretty not that interesting, honestly. But I really would want to, because it happens so often, and I think about like, why would you say that? Why would you not like be okay? Sure, give up. Why would you not give up on something? Why you keep being so firm on your ideas or firm on your stuff? I don't know. Um, and so I had another thing you might say about intelligence. Hmm. You like you can see. I feel like what you can get from this video is, uh, if you didn't do this already, try to do that with people you know. Try to mm, like see how smart they are, memory and all of that, memory wise, speed wise, and then see how they act um, with you or with other people. Uh, maybe I am crazy. Maybe I'm crazy and people are nicer than I think, and either I'm awful around people or with other people, or I'm crazy and people are nicer. I don't know. I don't think that is the case, but look at that and then see if there's any connection. Like, see everyone you know well enough to do this experiment with, and see how many people are actually nice, very nice with you, emotionally. Of course, if they're nice with you, it's emotional intelligence. And if they're actually smart, then back. Or if you know someone that is smart conventionally, see if it's a very nice person also with others. I think that would be. I honestly have a doubt though, uh, and that's something that honestly a bit. I don't really want to say it, but I mean, I'm, I guess I'm pretty sure you understood by now that I think I'm smart and all, right? Uh, and I'll always say that I don't want to, like, say I'm better than others. Please, I don't. I really don't. It's just, to me, an idea that it's kind of a fact at this point. Like, I have enough proof for myself to say this, that I believe it. Like, uh, I think I'm smart and all, right? And I'm afraid that maybe uh, my expectations are too high. Of like, maybe no, and then, like, I literally just got in mind the reason why that's wrong. Like, I think maybe I expect too much for people. Maybe sometimes it's okay to be mean very often, and it's okay for people to not be super in line with morals and all that. Uh, and then I think about like, no, it's like, to me it's just way too easy to be nice. It doesn't take a lot. I I've always been nice with people, and if they ask me for something, like I don't, and it's something relatively small. I don't even think like, do I want to do it or not? I just do it. I just accept. I'm nice, you know. And then others don't do that with me. Not even close as often. And so like, to me, it's just it's too easy to be nice that it's not really um like, I can't really give you the benefit of, maybe I expect too much. Maybe I'm too smart and I expect too much. No, I'm not that smart. Okay, I'm not like that. I'm not uh you know I don't expect too much. I expect too much, I don't think, because I did it. Of course, I'm an essential characteristic of someone smart is being coherent with themselves. And I always say that I've said 10,000 times in this video that being nice is super good and super important. And so obviously I'm nice with people and I'm kind with people and all that. And it doesn't take too much. Like, it doesn't. I'm not like, oh gosh, I have to do this thing for this person. Like, of course, the individual person needs to earn it. You can say, like, in the sense that they don't have to earn it from the start. But if they're bad with you, then, like, you don't need to be good with them. If they're awful with you, then you're perfectly allowed to be mean with them. So I'm not like, how they say, like, for Christian, for Jews, like, if they slap you, mm, offer the other cheek. Is that what they say? I'm like that. Not I'm not really like that. If they slap you, you're allowed to slap back, and that's it. Not more, not more. But no, maybe if they slap you and don't do nothing. If they slap and punch and beat the shit out of you, then yes, you're totally allowed to do whatever you want. Because, like, slapping one time is being mean one time is fine. Being mean 10,000 times in a row is not fine. So people are not nice with you, feel free to not be nice with them. Don't think about that. You need to be better than them always. If you do, good for you. Honestly, props to you. If you keep being nice with them, that's very good of you. But if you don't, then you're perfectly allowed to do it. At least for me, and at least logically, at least for me. Yes, whatever. So, oh gosh, I have more. I know I have more to talk about. Mm, the thing is, like, there's a lot of specific things about intelligence. Um, like, there's how I did the video how to act with people specifically. There's how to act in a conversation with people, in a debate with people. So how to act nice in a debate, how to act with people in general, how to I could do some dumb and useless, like, how to use your brain to your full capabilities video. I don't have a good enough idea to do it, honestly. Um, I could do have some information, I guess, but um, honestly, the best tip I have is literally the last video, the free will one. Like, if you want it, if you want something, that's immediately a boost of intelligence. You could say that's instantly +5 intelligence for you, because wanting something, like being determined to get something, will really help you. like concentrating and will make it easier to remember stuff and will make you more passionate about the thing, which will make studying, for example, studying less uh, less boring and less painful and less demanding of energy and all that. Um, then I know there's another type of intelligence I wanted to talk about, but I don't remember it. Maybe there isn't. I don't know. Tell me, question moment. Maybe I don't know. Tell me like, of course this is about every other video too. Tell me if I'm making sense. Tell me if what you're reading right now, if you understand it first, and then if you agree or disagree. Uh, I, I feel like um for this specific topic, like I haven't really talked about it with many people in this sense, but about the morality aspect, like I disagree with basically everyone, and so tell me if I'm actually making sense, and tell me, show me that there are good people actually around, and not just to me people that are not, they're just super average in the emotional intelligence part. They're just not nice. They don't make you want to be around them. Like it feels like this is the relationship video. This is for the relationship video, but I'll say something right here now too. Um, it feels like people like want to hang out with themselves just because they're fun, and just because they don't have anything to do. It feels like just because they have to hang out and then they choose people. I don't think that's very fun. I feel like mm, I want to hang out with someone because I like them. I like the individual person. If I hang out with a group, I like most of them. I like everyone. And and I hang out because I want to spend time with them. To me, it doesn't really matter what you do when you hang out with people. It just matters you're with other people that you like and that you and are actually nice with you. For me, at least for me, being nice is such an important characteristic in people that I like. Uh, and maybe it isn't like this for other people. Maybe for you, you don't care too much that someone is very nice and very sweet and very honest and very um, helpful and all that, altruistic. Maybe you don't care much as much. Maybe you just want them to be funny, and maybe you just want to have interest in them. And maybe maybe that's what you want. I don't really know, honestly. So if it is like this, tell me. But if it is like me, also tell me, because it doesn't feel like anyone is like that, at least that I know of. Like, no, that's not true. Okay. No, the specific part about being kind, I mean, and being nice. Like, it feels like people generally don't care enough or don't care too much about it. They just want people that they like, and they like meaning that they are fun to hang out with, and that's it. Like they're funny and they're I don't and interest, and they share the interest. But to me, it's important to know that they need to be nice and they need to be fun, and they need to and it's nice if they have they have the same interest as me. But being kind is just what makes me like them, really, truly like them. um and same thing with romantic relationships and all that. I think I'll stop right here. If I have more, maybe I record more another section. If not, I'll probably instead make a specific video about it, because this topic, intelligence, is just so massive that, see how big Kuromi's brain is. Like, hold on, this is Kuromi, right? Look how big her head is. It's enormous. This is all the brain she needs to think about intelligence and all that. So it's just a massive topic. And so if she needs to have this massive brain to understand it, because I've said this many times, she's the omniscient one here. She knows everything. So since she knows everything about the intelligence too, it shows like she needs a very big head about it, because the intelligence is very massive and very big topic and all of that. So yes, maybe I'll make another hyper specific video about something. What you need to get from this video is me ranting, basically. Me ranting about people being dumb, and the experiment I told you, just don't tell them, don't be like that. Just observe people and see if there is actually a correlation between fast memory, fast learning, and all of that, and actually being nice, kind people. Do that, because I think it would be really interesting to get this kind of data out of your friends and family and all of that. So yeah, take that from the video, and maybe I hope I can kind of change your idea of who is smart and who is not smart. Keep in mind, I still think that like people that are fast learners. Oh, the IQ one. Oh yes. That's what I wanted to talk about. IQ. Yes. Okay. So, IQ is very divisive, even among everyone else. Like, there's of course the people that believe IQ is very accurate and very nice and very efficient, and there's the people that hate it and say it's just a number and it doesn't mean anything, right? Honestly, my opinion is neither of them. It's in between those. Like, people that think they're smart because of their IQ are idiots, no matter their IQ, because just that's a stupid thing to believe, and it's 99% of the time just flexing, right? That's very stupid. But IQ is a clever idea, not in how it is executed, but I mean it's very simple idea. It's clever but very simple. Giving a what we humans do is like, let's say you want to know how fast a car goes. You're not gonna say like 1 cloud per, I don't know, year or something. You need a number. You need to express it in a unit of measurement using a number, because we evolved and we decided numbers were fun, right? And so we say the car is going 100 kilometers an hour, right? Giving a number to intelligence makes it very simple to have to compare for comparison purposes, and to estimate the intelligence of one kind of person, one DSM kind. I don't know. The problem is like treating the number as actually accurate, first of all, and IQ shows. I feel like shows first of all the potential of someone, but like the definition of potential, like if your potential is 20, your maximum output, you could say, is 20, right? If the potential of a computer is like of a processor is 5 gigahertz maximum, that doesn't really work like that. If the power of a power supply is like 900 watts, it can't go past 900 watts, right? It cannot. That's the potential maximum of the power supply. It does not work like that for intelligence and for IQ. I feel like, and this is partially because the definition of intelligence itself is very confusing and very, very, very complex. But like, you will see people with an actual IQ with a, of course, it's very important. You actually take a decent test, not those very fast ones. Those very fast ones are like giving you a complete general idea of your IQ, I guess, maybe, I don't know. And if you actually take a decent one, you can have a slightly more a slightly less general idea of your IQ, right? And let's say it says a number like 120, and then I think about how smart you are, and I say, this is beside the point of like emotional intelligence. By the way, this is like the combined total of everything. So how fast you are, our memory, our kind, and all of that, all mixed together, and taking an average, I guess. Although like measuring measuring with emotional intelligence with a number is like cool and fun, but it's actually practically kind of impossible to do if you actually want to do it accurately and have a objective result, right? It's impossible, but like it's yeah. So I guess it's mostly IQ is mostly based on speed and all of that, and how is that called? And pattern recognition and all of that. So I think about someone with 120, and then I think of someone with 100, and I say, okay, no, the person with 120 is pretty much an idiot, and the person with 100 is decently smart. And so, what? Like how? Like the person with 100 should not be this smart, right? The person with 120 is wasting their potential, while the person with 100 is kind of wasting it's kind of going beyond their potential. Like it doesn't really make sense. and and so I feel like IQ is not really about potential, it's about the like average potential. I need a better word for this. It's like how smart you are generally. You take the average of every time you think about something, or every moment of your day, and based on how smart you are, that's the average. And this doesn't really make a lot of sense. You cannot do this, obviously, it's impossible to do. But I feel like that's the best idea you can have of IQ, if you consider it like as a semi accurate number to your actual intelligence. uh like yeah, so the average of how smart you are, meaning that if I have 120, there are probably moments where I'm 130, where I have the capability of someone with 130, and others where I have the capability of someone with 100. Or maybe it just doesn't even work like that. Maybe because tests are mostly, I did take a few of them for fun, and they're mostly like pattern recognition stuff. So if your pattern recognition sucks and the rest is good, like you are going to perform much better than your number says. Um, so what to get from this? IQ is fun. It's not accurate. IQ is fun. It is not accurate. Uh, it's very useful to list like what you think someone is smartless intelligence level is at. Like it's very cool to say, oh, that guy is 105, and no, I think I'm 120. I'm 120. My sibling is 130 even, and because numbers are so easy to understand, right? And and there's a lot of things to keep in mind. Like I don't think the scale should be treated linearly. Absolutely, it's absolutely logarithm, no, exponentially, meaning that if I say someone is 160, they are not twice as smart as someone with 130. Of course, like the baseline is 100, which should be zero, really. But even someone having minus 20 IQ is just mean, so they set it to 100. So you should add like 130 is double 115, uh, double in number, but not in practice. Like I think probably the difference between 110 and 130 is the person with 130 is not 3 times as smart, not even close. But 160 and 130, the person is probably at least 3 times as smart, if I think about it. Because to me, just intelligence makes sense to be makes sense if it's exponential, and it is exponential. Also, like the rarity of the actual AQs and all of that, but whatever. So it's fun to do that. It's cool to do that, to list people, to have an estimate. If I ask you how smart is that person, it's much easier if you give me a number. It's much easier for me to understand and for you to explain it. If you tell me their feats, to what they actually do, it may be possible for me to understand, only if I'm actually familiar with them. But if I'm not, it just doesn't really make sense to me what you're telling me, and I can't estimate where that person is at. So it's very good to give an estimate and all of that, but your number itself is pretty much useless. Like, it only matters to know if you're average, above average, or below average. That's it. If you're like 110 to 90, you say, okay, I'm average. If you're 130 and above, at least, you say, okay, I'm above average. And you might say, wait, you left 110 to 130. You can know, honestly. You're in a range where I say I cannot know if you're like more average or more above average, or like very smart. And they also give some labels to all of the tiers, but sometimes they're not really objective, and they don't really mean anything. Like if I say very smart, to me maybe very smart is 150, and to you very smart is maybe 130. So it doesn't really make sense like that. So the number itself, don't trust it. It's fun to do, honestly. IQ tests are mildly fun to do. If you want to do it. Don't waste time and money, obviously, but they're fun to do, and everything. Getting your number is cool and all. Maybe you can like bet it online. I non condoning gambling. I'm joking. Okay, so it's fun to have it and all of that. Don't ever use it in a conversation that isn't exactly like, what's your IQ? I'm curious about what your IQ score is. And that's it. You only care about the number itself. It doesn't mean anything else. I did say you don't care about the number, but like, care about the number and that's it. The number doesn't mean anything. You only have the number. Like it's the same as when you ask what's your favorite number to someone. That's it. It doesn't mean anything, obviously. Maybe there's a meaning behind it, but maybe there's not. Maybe I like the number 126, and I say, okay, 126 is a number I like, and that's it. IQ is pretty much the same. You get the number, you have fun, and that's it. You don't base yourself off of anything. You can use it to list people, to have like a unit of measurement, but don't stress about it too much. Don't make it too important, And don't be like those people that say IQ is completely useless, because the number is useless. Your number is useless, but the like using a number to represent intelligence, I feel like it's good, right? There isn't really a better method. So if you find it, then good for you. But I don't think you will, honestly. So yeah, that's pretty much it with IQ. And I guess there is more maybe to talk about IQ, but I don't know. Like I could yeah, I didn't want to say like the problem with IQ tests is they focus on pattern recognition, at least the ones I've done. And if you do one, you get any number ever, you do it again, even if it's not the same test, like literally exact same test. If anything changes, even if it all changes, your result would most likely be higher. Like, you get experience in doing IQ tests from doing one of them. literally one of them. So it's something you can train to be good at. So yeah, that literally tells you everything you need to know about how accurate they are. I could do 10 tests a day now, and in 1 month I will be 175. You know, it doesn't really work like that. You do it once and you get your number and you get your cool number and that's it. You flex with your dumb friend. No, don't do that. But yeah, that's it. So yeah, that's it for intelligence. Holy shit, 1 hour and right now 25 minutes will probably be a little bit short, but or shorter. But yeah, holy shit, this isn't even like 1/3 of what's to talk about intelligence, because there's so many tiny things about it. But yeah, my throat is screaming at me because I recorded another thing before, so it's like 2 hours and a half of talking already. So yeah, too much. She is so tired from me hearing me. There we go. See, she's so tired from hearing me that she's literally gonna fall asleep right now. So, poor her. You know, carrying this head around, like I told you, is kind of troublesome. If you know people with, um, I can't say that. I'm sorry. Whatever. If you know people with, you know, something big they have to carry, just say this. You know, I'm comfortable with this in the back and um, on the neck, maybe even. So you know, she's so tired. She'll leave you. She'll just say bye to you all, and I hope you have a good day, good afternoon, good night, all that. And yeah, see you all maybe another time on a less rambly video, hopefully a shorter one. Bye.